And we are back. Episode 47, Drop the Green, Season 2. You excited?
No.
No.
no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm pretty excited, man. Had a good week.
Yeah, we had a good week, had a good weekend. We will fill y'all in on that since we got a little bit of a gap, a little bit of an off week next week.
Yes.
We've got some more to tell y'all about that as well. But as always, we're going to dedicate this episode to somebody. This week's overview is going to be something we like to refer to as bushwhacking.
Yeah.
So that'll be
not the drinks that you get at,
at
college
at the
bars.
Bean. Yeah. Not bushwhackers.
No.
Bushwhacking. Bushwhacking.
Yeah.
We're going to recap Bristol, talk about how good of a race it was. We will talk about standouts, get into just a little bit of an update on bets. Obviously not going to be betting this week since lines aren't open. And then we will close with the Choose Who Zone.
That's right.
How you feel about that? I want you to get pumped up.
Okay, you're right. Hold on.
A pre-shot.
Woo! Yeah,
Okay.
We're fired up now.
All right.
Fired up.
As always, my name is Austin.
My name's Spencer.
Let's drop the
We're in
green.
the land of shining coal, back down that valley where the roosters crow, and a man defends his own. I got no problems if I stand alone. In the land of shining coal, back down that valley where the roosters crow, and a man defends his own. I got no problems if I stand alone.
A little good little burp out there.
Yeah, that was those don't get any easier.
Did that taste like Dickel that had been in my cooler?
Yeah,
all
dude,
weekend?
that tickle was rough.
Yeah, it's been in my cooler since Bristol.
Aged and cool.
Yeah, it's actually glass aged. But let's get right into this, buddy. I want you to pump up. You look like you just watched a race at Bristol.
Yeah, that's how I feel still, even after just so exciting week I had. I've really had a good week.
Was a good
besides
week.
the weekend, like leading up to the week. I know we're totally sidetracked.
No, it's
but
okay.
Last Friday, one of the best days I've ever had. Okay, then we get to Saturday. Since Catherine's listening, it was also an amazing day.
Yeah.
Okay, not as good as Friday, but a great Saturday. Sunday was awful. Awful Sunday. Monday comes around. It's Monday. Those can be good. Tuesday, amazing day. And now we're today on Wednesday.
Yeah. You're still on the fence about it.
I'm positive because I'm done for the week. So it's hump day and I'm done.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get our dedications out of the way, buddy. So we got episode 47. I'm going to go first. If you will put up my picture here.
Mr.
Beautiful.
Ambrose.
Mr. Ambrose. So Marcus Ambrose, born September 1st, 1976 in Tasmania.
Tasmania.
You ever heard of the Tasmanian Devil, like the cartoon?
Was he part of the Looney Tunes?
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
Named after Marcus Ambrose.
Named after Marcus Ambrose because
Yeah.
he was a
Yeah.
devil.
Yeah.
He was a Tasmanian
He was a
devil.
Tasmanian Devil, yeah.
He spun around like that?
No, that was just his racing nickname, so then they named the cartoon after him.
I don't believe that at all.
It's not true.
Okay, I don't. I'm not falling for this mess anymore.
I didn't know if I could get you 2 weeks in a row. I don't think I can get you ever again.
No,
Man. God.
You ruined it. You had a good one.
I know. I just
But
thought,
you ruined it.
So, not named after the Tasmanian
Okay.
Devil. Neither was the Tasmanian Devil after he. But Marcus Ambrose, have you ever heard this name?
It actually does kind of sound familiar. What
real,
movie's
real,
he from?
real driver.
Okay.
I can't stress enough.
Okay.
Real driver.
Okay.
Because I think you will find this cool. So, he was the son of a race car driver. So, obviously, what do?
You race cars.
You race cars.
If your dad races cars, you race cars.
You race cars, that's
Yeah.
right. So started in karts, was actually the Australian karting champion of 1995.
Ooh.
So kind of went towards Formula Ford, Formula 3 type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Was pretty good in that too. Wanted to go to Formula 1.
Yeah.
Just didn't have the money to do it. Kind of the same story as, I guess it's always been that way really. Maybe not way back in the day. I don't know enough about it, but it was very good, but just didn't have the money. So obviously comes back home to Australia area and races V8 supercars. You know V8 supercars,
I do
right?
know V8 supercars.
Comes out of the gate, like sits on the pole his first race, wins his first year, finishes pretty high in the points. So that was 2001, his first year. Wins the championship, the V8 Supercars championship in 2003 and 2004.
Okay.
So really good. I mean, pretty young at that point too. Ends up winning 28 times overall. They only race I think 10 times a year. It's something they don't race hardly at all.
I mean, they're traveling so much though too.
Yeah, they travel all around Australia, and then they have their format's kind of weird too. They run multiple races. I know the Bathurst 1,000. That's their big race.
Okay, 1,000.
1,000 kilometers.
Oh,
but it's this road
what does
course.
That mean?
What's that in freedom units?
Yeah.
But
1776 the champs.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Please tell that story.
Okay.
So anyway, the Bathurst 1000, just to get into a little bit, that's probably one of the most iconic races. If you were listing iconic races,
yeah,
right, worldwide, Daytona 500, Indy 500, Monaco, and F1.
Yeah.
I'm not listing these in order.
No.
Just naming them. And then Bathurst 1000 would be up there too. So that's a road course. It's super intense, super high elevation, just rigorous.
In Australia?
In Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, right outside of Sydney. So anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. But was very good at V8 Supercars.
Did he win that? Is that what we were getting at?
That's not what I was getting at because I did not look that up. But I'm going to assume that he did.
Okay.
You would think so, right?
I don't know.
Look it up? I think I was just trying to reference what V8 Supercars were.
Okay. Okay. Did Shane win that race?
Yes, many times.
Okay.
Oh, so what I was saying about that race, so they have weird schedules.
Yeah.
Weird races. So the Bathurst 1000, they have multiple drivers. That's what I was going to say. So you go all year racing your own.
the
24 hours of Daytona.
Yeah.
So where I was going with that is you race your own car all year, and in that race you have multiple drivers. So they have a weird ordeal altogether. Nonetheless, Marcus, very good. Very good V8 supercar driver. So what does Marcus Ambrose decide to do?
What does he decide to do?
I'm moving to America.
That's
I'm going to
right.
make it in NASCAR.
That's right.
Have you heard this story before?
No.
In a way, though. Have you heard the story before?
Yeah, it sounds like Shane Van Gisbergen.
Shane Van Gisbergen, right.
Yeah.
So this guy kind of laid the mold for
Shane
SVG.
boy.
Yeah. And Marcus and Shane are buddies.
Are they?
Obviously, Marcus is a lot older.
Yeah.
But Shane's relied on Marcus a lot for this transition
awesome.
over. Yeah. So he comes over. He's on a Ford development deal because he raced Ford in V8 supercars. Races trucks. Doesn't go too terribly bad. And then he finishes 21st in trucks in 2006. Keep in mind, he's fresh off a championship in 03 in Australia.
Yeah.
06 races trucks. 07 and 08 he races Xfinity. So he does the full I've got time. I'm going to go trucks, Xfinity Cup. One funny thing about when he came to the truck series, he moves over here, right? He signs a Ford development deal. He's like, I'm racing the truck series. I have a full-time ride. He cannot race the first 3 races. NASCAR does not clear him because he has no oval experience.
What?
NASCAR
didn't let the dude
does
race?
not clear him
For a truck race?
for a truck race because he has no oval experience.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
It used to be a thing.
So
Marcus
how do you get oval experience?
So
he had to go to ARCA?
He had to go testing, ARCA, stuff like that. And then, the dude has a full-time truck series ride. Has to sit out the first 3 races and then race the rest of the season. Still finishes 21st in points.
That's pretty good.
Never been in a stock car.
Yeah.
Never really done ovals. But, yeah, can you believe? I mean, how much have we talked about already? What are the standards to be in? We talked about poor Catherine Leggy, whatever her name is.
Dude,
I mean,
she was zero standards.
Zero standards, right?
I mean, we let SVG come over and just he
Wax ass.
never
Yeah.
stepped foot in a stock car.
Yeah.
And then we let him.
Well, kind of because he had the V8 supercars.
I know, but
Yeah.
I mean,
but still,
not.
yes.
I mean, the same experience that this guy had comes over and he's like, he has no oval experience. So I guess if the first race of the year for him was a road course, they would have let him race.
I guess. I don't know. Who knows what back then they were
because what was the first 3 races? Probably Daytona.
It was Daytona,
Atlanta.
oval.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would have been for trucks back then. Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Okay. No, that's
Wild.
We would never see that today.
It was the heyday of NASCAR, so they could be like,
Somebody needs to call Riley Herbst' team.
I know.
Where's your oval experience?
I would love to put him through a test.
Okay,
but just different time. I mean, they wouldn't let him race.
Oh my God.
I know. I knew you'd love that part. 07, 08 goes Xfinity racing for JTG Doherty / Wood Brothers, kind of like a weird alliance type thing at this time. Ends up getting his first win in the Xfinity Series at Watkins Glen. Of course
he does.
Right? Keep in mind, this is also back when we went to road courses. We went to Sonoma, Watkins Glen.
That was it.
And then the next year we went to Sonoma and Watkins Glen. So does pretty well there. I think he ended up finishing like 10th in points the year that he won.
Dang.
And like this was
so he had consistently good finishes.
Yeah, and this was before winning in.
Yeah.
Right. So like even if you won, like you still had to do well.
Wow.
Ends up going cup racing full time in 2009. So that was this 47 car. 2009, 2010, he's running JTG Doherty 47 car, Toyota Camry. No wins. Does about as good as you could expect for somebody like. He's like Shane, right? He's trying to learn ovals.
Yeah, he does.
Very good at road courses, but at the same time, like you remember this car.
They're not
set up cars matter a lot.
Yeah.
Where's Chase Elliott been on road courses?
Nowhere.
Once we got to a road course car,
nowhere.
So if you had a good setup, it was going to be what it was. So ends up leaving JTG Doherty, goes to the number 9 with Richard Petty Motorsports in 2011, gets his first Cup Series win in 2011.
Let's go.
You want to guess where?
Watkins Glen.
Watkins Glen.
Wow.
Yeah. We don't have winning in.
Yeah.
So he finishes like 20th in points.
Okay.
Wild, right?
Yeah.
Wild. So 2012, same 9 car, not the 47, gets another win. Do you want to guess where?
Watkins Glen.
Watkins Glen.
Okay, yeah,
you're all over it.
Yeah.
Dude. Finishes like 19th in points. Damn. So ends up still hanging
Watkins
around.
Glen. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Okay.
But he ends up hanging around a little bit. He's still running some Xfinity part-time. Like, people are asking him, please run our Xfinity car at Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we beg you.
Yeah.
You're a
Because he's going to
You're a
wax
Watkins
everybody.
Glen god.
Yeah.
You know, so he ends up sticking around. Keep in mind he's born in 1976, getting a little bit older. After 2014, hangs it up, kind of calls it quits on his NASCAR experience. Finishes with 5 Xfinity wins and 2 Cup wins. So that's a total of 7 wins. 6 of those.
Or road courses?
No, all of them were road courses.
Yeah, okay.
6 of those were at Watkins Glen. Yeah.
One Sonoma.
Yeah. One was, it said something weird. So it had to have been either Montreal or they used to go to.
They did the out of the country stuff.
Yeah, out of the country stuff in Xfinity. So one was another one.
Never won at Sonoma.
Never won at Sonoma.
That's interesting.
So they have said, if I remember right, Sonoma is the one that's super. I could have this completely backwards, but one of them's like super fast, and one of them's super technical.
Okay.
And I think Sonoma's the super fast one, and Watkins Glen's a little more technical. I could have that backwards, but because there's a reason. If I remember right, like Chase sucks. Like in the Gen 6 car, Chase Elliott sucked at Sonoma, but he's good at Watkins Glen.
Because it was technical.
Because it was So
That's
I can't remember exactly, but
we're that's the truth.
Yeah. Write it down.
Yeah.
But no, super cool guy, and I think it's really crazy because I bet Marcus is watching SVG because now we have this next gen car that's so similar. Like the whole transaxle in the next gen car, they modeled off the V8 supercar in Australia. There's like a reason Shane got in that car and was like amazing.
Yeah, this feels about the same.
Yeah. And we're running like 5-6 road courses now, so and we have winning you're in. I don't think Trackhouse expects SVG to do anything.
No.
Except win a road course and finish better than Daniel Suarez ever could in points. But Marcus Ambrose, this poor soul, came in and they're like, no, you have to be good everywhere.
Yeah.
But he laid that kind of foundation for SVG to come in.
He did.
Super cool guy. Like he was one that they'd interview and like had a personality, wasn't closed off.
What's he do now?
I believe he's back in Australia.
Okay. Just chilling.
Or Tasmania, wherever.
You think he has a V8 supercar team?
He does not. No.
Really?
No, he does not. No. But I know he's still like When I was reading his Wikipedia, obviously, like he had raced a supercar again in like 2014 or so, like 2015. After he left, he came back and raced a supercar, but I don't believe he's racing anymore. I mean, was born in '76, so he's getting up there. 50? Yeah, math.
50, 76.
Yeah, 49, 50.
49, 50. Yeah.
So,
wow.
But like I said, kind of laid the groundwork for SVG to come in.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, he showed a narrow pathway through the forest, but SVG's a god.
I know, but I'm saying like I almost feel like if you took Marcus Ambrose's old ass the first year we had the next gen car,
you think he'd?
I think he probably could have done. I'm not saying he would have did what Shane did,
dude,
but like he probably would have finished
second
for top 5, top 10. I mean, they were used to a certain kind of car.
A prime Marcus Ambrose in the next gen car at the same time Shane got in that car.
I think they're 3 seconds ahead of the field.
Yeah,
battling it out.
And what a race that would be.
I know, because the car, if you look at like what a V8 supercar is compared to the Cup car we have now, I mean they're pretty similar.
That's wild.
So I didn't know if you knew there was another V8 supercar guy that came over.
I didn't. No. And I'm still just trying to figure out what that whole story, what movie is based on that.
You keep looking at me like you don't believe me.
No, you scarred me for life.
I can't stress enough, Spencer.
Okay.
I swear, hand on the Bible.
Yeah.
Marcus Ambrose is a real person.
Aye.
So that's my 47. What do you have for 47?
Let me pull up my 47. Let me show you a dude that knows how to drive.
Yeah.
Look at this boy.
Did he sign the picture?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. I will say I've been, before you get into it, and then I'll listen to you, I've been on the fence of whether I like this guy or don't like this guy.
Why do you not like this guy? This guy did what you love to watch do.
I know, that's what gets me up here.
What has he done to you?
Wreck everything.
Okay, dude. So he sucks at driving. that doesn't mean you can't
but
like
I want
the
you
guy.
to educate. Talk me into it. Talk me into it right now.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
My 47 is the only guy that I've ever seen race a 47, and his name is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Okay?
Yep.
From Olive Branch, Mississippi. Time out.
Do you consider that, basically, can we claim him and say he's a Tennessee driver?
Yeah, he was born in Memphis.
Yeah. Because where else, if you're in Olive Branch, where are you going to...
You're going to Memphis.
You going to trust the Olive Branch Hospital?
No, you're going to Memphis.
You're going to Memphis.
You're going to St. Jude in Memphis.
Yeah.
They have a golf tournament.
I feel like if you live in Olive Branch, if you're going to do anything, where are you going to go?
Memphis.
Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee. Yeah. Why you know?
I'm just saying, can we claim him?
I don't want him, but yeah, we can claim him.
You sound like he's number one fan there for a second.
I am a big fan. That doesn't mean I want to claim him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be quiet. Go ahead.
We'll sing his praises in the shadows.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So he's from Olive Branch, Mississippi. Actually, Tennessee. We're claiming him. He started racing karts like any other guy does at 6. And he got on 90 podiums. 90 podiums. Won 47 kart races. Dude's a dog.
Okay.
Granted, he was probably racing other 8-year-olds, but still had to win.
8-year-old dog.
Yep. And then that kind of led him, after doing the karts thing, leads him to your favorite, sprint cars. So he raced sprint cars, 360s. He raced 410s. A little bit of everything. National Sprint Car Hall of Fame driver and Dirt Winged Sprint Car Rookie of the Year in 2003.
Wow.
Dirt Car Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Who's also won that?
Probably Kyle Larson. I don't know. He's won everything.
Kyle Larson. Anybody else? Ricky Thornton Jr. has probably won that.
No, he didn't race sprint cars. But.
Oh, that's right. He's a late model. Yeah. Brad Sweet probably won
Probably,
that.
yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying.
I know. I mean, I'm with you.
Okay.
You don't have to sell me that hard.
Okay, I am. So, he began racing. So that was in 2003. Dirt Wing Sprint Car Rookie of the Year, 2003. He began racing in the USA C Sprint Car Series.
USAC.
USAC. Okay, I
just like Cole Trickle.
Yeah, Yeah. Except he's from Tennessee. No, I don't even know to believe this anymore. Is USAC even real?
It is real.
Okay.
It is real, yeah.
USAC's real.
Cold Trickle, not real.
He began racing in that in 2004. 2006, he won the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame driver pole again in both 360 and 410. So I guess that's something you vote on, I would assume.
Yeah, I don't know what that
it's
is.
driver pole, so
That's new to me.
yeah.
I don't know what that is.
But he still won it. So and it being driver pole, he couldn't have been wrecking everybody then because they wouldn't have voted for him.
Right, yeah.
So maybe
we're not to the wrecking yet.
we're not to the wrecking yet, but I'm just saying, okay? So Stenhouse won dual Rookie of the Year honors in USAC sprint cars, finished 6th in the standings, and finished 3rd in the midget series. Speaking of that, did you ever give me my thing back?
Yeah, I didn't know they were actually yours. I thought they were the ones that were up here.
No, I didn't take yours at all.
Because you don't like those. I didn't know why you had them.
Well, I bought them. They were on sale at the Casey's.
I know, that's why I buy them.
I'm sorry. Austin ruins everything that I do good around here.
You're still so bitter from 46, I can tell.
I am. So that was in 2007. Did you repeat what I just said?
He won something else, the national
In USAC.
in USAC, yeah.
In USAC. He won. He finished 6th. He won dual Rookie of the Year. Finished 6th and 3rd in the standings in 2007.
6th and 3rd, so like 360 and 410 or
Midgets.
midgets? Okay.
It doesn't say. It didn't say 360 or 410 in the sprint
Okay.
car. I would assume 360. Let's just be. We'll
Yeah.
be modest. You know?
Okay.
But maybe he did do it in the 410.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I know he was a good sprint car driver.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, I know. I believe you. I don't know how this is how the show's gonna be, and I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I just
I know
can't
the
trust
venom,
anything
the
else.
venom is coming out.
Yeah. So in 2008, he goes ARCA racing, driving for
It would have been Roush.
baby.
Yeah.
Driving for Roush,
Basically, lifetime contract.
pretty much, dude. So he started racing for Roush in 2008,
Mm-hmm.
and from 2008 all the way to 2019, he runs with Roush, and I don't believe he did any truck. No, he
I don't
didn't do
remember.
any truck.
I
He didn't do
don't
any
remember. I don't know
truck.
if he's even done a truck to this day.
It doesn't have it on here,
Yeah.
which would make me believe that he. I mean, he never has because
Yeah,
he would have
which is weird. There's a few drivers like
Yeah.
that have never done a truck.
never done a truck.
Yeah,
Corey LaJoy being one.
right. No, he has.
Oh, he
He's-
actually.
he's
Oh, yeah,
terrible.
he has. I've watched
Yeah.
it. It's just bad.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah. It's not memorable.
So anyway, 2008, Roush Fenway, and he just races their ARCA car. Okay, so can you guess where he finished
In ARCA,
in ARCA?
probably pretty. They probably had some stout cars.
Yeah,
Champion right out of the gate.
not champion. Finished fourth.
Fourth.
Fourth
okay.
right out the gate, and I would
Which
assume.
is crazy because you're going from sprint cars
cars?
to a big old.
Of course, he won 2 races that year and finished in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 top fives.
Wow.
Still finished 4th, so that tells you how loaded that series is. I mean, the dude must have won like all the races.
Yeah.
So pretty good. 2009, they move him into Xfinity. Okay, and he runs kind of a part-time series. First out the gate, got a top 10 at Kentucky. Got a top 5 at Milwaukee Mile. And kind of goes quiet. So he was racing that number 16, number 17 car at Roush. Finally gets a full-time deal with them. Races 2010, and he finishes 16th. Got a couple top 5s, no wins. Comes out 2011, 2012, 2-time, back-to-back Xfinity champion.
Yeah.
I mean, just
It's crazy.
waxing him. Wins. Oh, I'm so sorry. Wins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 races in that 2-year span. Pretty impressive. Load of top 5s. So, you win 2 Xfinity championships back to back. What does that get you?
A cup ride?
A cup ride. Yeah. We're playing a guessing game.
Yeah.
It's not Watkins Glen. I can tell you that. So, we come out the gate. 2000. Oh, let me back up a little bit. So, 2000. He wins Xfinity Championship. He fills in for Trevor Bain in 2011 from the Wood Brothers car, which I thought was wild.
It is wild.
I was asking you about it, but apparently back in the day, Roush had an
with
alliance
Wood
actually
Brothers.
with Wood Brothers, so they weren't Penske employees like they are now.
Right.
So he raced a one-off race in 2011, first time in the Cup car. What do you think he finished at? What I tell you? I said the 600.
The Coke 600. That's a
Coke
hard
600.
one.
And I didn't tell you where he finished.
You'd be lucky to finish top 25.
Yeah, he finished 11th.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, granted, Roush was on the move then. They had some speed, but still, you had to. We know how Ricky is.
Yeah, you had to not wreck it.
You had to not wreck for 600 miles. Yeah, that's like
the longest he's
that's
ever
like
went.
300 some kilometers. I don't know that.
It's like I think it's like 1,000.
Okay, I don't know. It could be forever. So fast forward 2012. He's still in Xfinity. Doesn't do anything. Races four cup races. 2013, that gets you his full ride at Roush Fenway, racing the number 17. Doesn't do anything. Couple top 10s, decently solid, but not blowing the parkway. Probably like he should have been in that car. Because
he couldn't have picked a worse time to come into Roush.
In the
Cup Series.
In the Cup Series, just Roush is on the he's already caught him. He
picked him up at the top of where the roller coaster. You know when you're going tick tick.
Yeah.
He got on right there.
Yeah. He got on right there and rode him all the way down to what I say 2019.
Yep.
Now during that span though, we got it back up, and in 2017 he won 2 super speedway races.
Yep.
Talladega, and Daytona. Not the 500 yet. So was this when he said what he said?
Yeah, because it was a Firecracker 400.
It was a Firecracker 400.
So it's America. That's why he said it.
That's why he said
it's America's birthday.
So Sanders fills me in for the show while we're talking. He goes, "Have you ever heard what Ricky Stenhouse said after his Daytona win, the Firecracker 400?" And I was like, "No." And I was like, "You're gonna tell me?" He's like, "I'm just gonna play it."
Yeah, because I can't. You understand why I can't?
Yeah. Okay, of course. And so so I don't even remember the guy interviewing him, but it's a Fox guy interviewing him and just asking him, "Man, what it is?" He's like, "Man, this Kroger, whatever his sponsor was, they built a great car, great team." And then the guy goes, "What would you like to tell the NASCAR fans out there about this?" And he goes, "Whoa!" 1976.
No, 1776.
1776. Sorry, 1776 champs.
Yeah, he goes. But it's in Ricky Stenhouse's voice.
Yes,
which is not a boisterous.
I mean,
voice.
we can be honest on here, right? It sounds kind of like Mickey Mouse.
Yes,
doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. He goes, they're like, "What do you want to say to the fans?" He's like, once again, "Woo!"
Yeah,
it's like America, 1776. We're the champs.
Yeah, and that's
he just does it like the inflection, like none of the, like you said. If you were to say it,
we could make it way cooler.
We could make it way cooler.
Way cooler.
And cool sentiment.
Yes.
Right? We are the champs.
Firecracker. Yeah. And if you don't know, he said it's 4th of July weekend.
Right, yeah.
So
we are the champs.
There's a lot of American pride going on.
Yeah.
And he just killed it.
Yeah.
Killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Communist China flew over it right at the...
I was going to say something worse, so I'm glad you said that. All right, moving on.
They sent him to El Salvador immediately.
Okay, moving on. 2019, finishes up his career with Roush. Finishes up Roush Fenway's racing career because I think they were pretty much done after that.
There's a funny story behind it, but I'll let you.
Okay,
I'll let you finish.
2019, he's done. He's like, where am I going to go? JTG Doherty. God, I always say it wrong. Yeah. Sorry.
Basketball player. Played Brad Doherty. He's a co-owner of JTG Doherty.
Okay.
Played.
So Michael Jordan's playing second fiddle to this guy.
Yes. He's been JT. I know Brad Doherty does not get the respect he deserves.
Yeah, he definitely should. We got to put some respect
Brad
on this guy's
Doherty
name.
Played for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Okay.
He was very good. Brad Doherty played college basketball with Michael Jordan at North Carolina.
Okay.
There's no like animosity or anything.
No,
but, like,
no, but
like Brad Doherty has been that guy
for a long
time.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So he goes there 2020, and has another. You mean nothing crazy, but he's wrecking people now.
Right.
We haven't got to that, but he gets the nickname. When does he get that? In 2017?
Recce? No, 2018.
2018.
I remember watching. It was the. I think it was the Daytona race. The fall Firecracker 400 in 2018. And this is right when Fox is sort of like they started talking to the drivers on stage breaks.
Yes.
And Ricky had caused 2 huge wrecks.
Oh my gosh.
Huge wrecks, dude. I mean, we're starting stage 3.
Oh.
There's been 2 big ones. And he wins the stage. He wins stage 2.
Hey, for causing wrecks, you're normally not.
And they're like, "Oh, let's dial in our stage winner." They're like, "Ricky Stenhouse, how was it winning that stage?" He's like, "Well, there's been a lot of calamity and pretty much my fault."
At least he's good at admitting it.
Like he knows.
Yeah, he knows.
But that's kind of where it started.
Okay.
There was one race where he caused 2 big ones.
At Daytona.
And then he did himself no favors from there on out.
After that. Okay. So he's already got the name
Recce Stenhouse.
Recce Stenhouse.
Junior.
Mr. Stenhouse.
Yeah, Junior sticks.
Yeah, Junior stuck. But is racing this 47. Actually, we have the car up in 2023. He wins the Daytona 500. Solid win.
Yeah.
Respectable. If you can't tell, he's a pretty good super speedway guy.
Right.
He knows how to get around those places.
Take out half the competition.
It definitely helps if you do that. So he does that. And then his last win in 2024 was at Talladega last fall. Wins that race in that number 47 car and is now currently racing the number 47 car for, you said it, but now I'm going to...
Yeah.
H-Y... Is the H silent? Is it yak?
I think it's Hayek.
Hayek?
Yeah.
So the H is there.
I think it's there, yeah.
Hayek.
So they kind of had some ownership.
Like kayak?
Yeah, like kayak,
Okay.
maybe Hayek. But also, I don't know.
Okay.
But they had some ownership changes. The people that were with like the JTG part of it, they were like former execs at Kroger, if I remember right.
Okay.
That's why the Kroger sponsorship was there.
Yeah.
Well, they like left. Private equity came in. I believe Brad Doherty's still there as a minority owner. But that's why Kroger left and went somewhere else.
Okay. Well, that's what he's racing in 2025, and it's his best finish so far is in Atlanta. He finished 5th. But cool. I mean, great guy. I feel like there was something else. You were going to tell me something else.
Yeah, so obviously had the fight with Kyle Busch.
Oh, yeah, I wrote that down. I started. Most famous incident.
I think it is.
Punched Kyle Busch in the face at a all-star race.
At an all-star race.
Literally in 24.
Last year. I was there, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
I was there. Thank
insane.
you, Noah Pendry, by the way.
Huge sponsor of the show.
Huge sponsor of the show.
Yeah.
Got me to North Wilkesboro to see the best fight.
I appreciate you taking me too, Noah.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding with you.
But, so that was cool. So you talked about him going from Roush to JTG.
Yeah.
So, the Roush is notorious for these, like, lifetime contracts. You start, and Ricky's talked about it when he was in, like, ARCA or whatever. It was like you show up to the shop at 6 a.m., and you wrench on the cars.
Yeah.
And then you drive them, right? Yeah. Like, Jack Roush is a no bullshit kind of guy.
You're a mechanic.
Yeah, like you're a racer. You do it the right way. Well, after Ricky, a few years later, came up this guy named Chris Buescher.
Okay.
And he was on a lifetime Roush contract as well. Things got a little crowded. They ended up letting Chris Buescher leave Roush, but he had an option on his contract, right? They could pick it up at any time.
Okay.
However that works, no one knows.
Yeah.
Also, contracts mean...
We should probably ask Nico how contracts work.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, at the end of the day, contracts mean nothing, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ricky's at Roush. Roush is going down. Ricky's wrecking a lot. They end up pulling Chris Buescher's option.
Yes.
Right? Chris Buescher's at JTG
Doherty.
Yeah. In the Cup Series, in the 37 car.
Okay.
And Ryan Preece is in the 47 car.
Okay.
At that time.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember that.
So they pull Chris Buescher's option out of nowhere, blindside Ricky, and they fire Ricky, and they say, we're going to put Chris Buescher in the 17 car. And Jack Roush has this infamous press conference. They're announcing, here's Jack, here's Chris Buescher.
Yeah.
He's like, we're really focused on, not rebuilding our race cars and having good race cars now.
Oh.
Poor Ricky has done nothing but ride this roller coaster to the ground.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and gets punched on the way out.
Yeah.
There's nowhere for Ricky to go but JTG. They kind of do some number swap in there. They put Priest in the 37. They put Stenhouse in the 47. Priest was in an unchartered JTG car at that time. And then Priest kind of went through what he went through. He's now back at Roush.
So how did they end up getting how did JTG get a charter then?
So they had two.
Car.
They had two originally.
Okay,
they sold one. They put Priest in an unchartered one.
Okay.
Which you can't make any. You get less money.
Yeah, for an unchartered
car. Like, you can win. You're not going to get as much money as second place, who is chartered.
That's crazy.
It's stupid.
To me, it should be the same winnings no matter who wins. Yeah,
you would think.
I know.
Yeah, you would
think. A little
think.
lawsuit will fix this.
Yeah, maybe not. But so anyway, that was the only place for Stenhouse to go. That's what brought Buescher back to the 17.
Okay.
When Brad took over, the first question Brad had was, how long is Chris Buescher's contract? I want him.
Wow.
So that's kind of how Ricky got pushed out of Roush.
That's tough. Well, he made it work.
I think he's done very well for what they have.
I mean, to me, he's SVG except super speedway guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Sure,
like you go to this team, and
but he's good at like places like Bristol.
No, he is
short tracks, anything like that. He's pretty good.
Has way better oval experience than SVG. But you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
the fact that we're putting him in this car because we know his chances of winning at a super speedway are pretty high, and if he can get it done in the first half of the year, we're locked into the playoffs.
And a ride like that's all you're banking on anyway.
That's all you're banking on
because that's the only place you'll have speed.
100%.
So, no, I do. At one time, I really hated him. Yeah, I was like, he just wrecks. But I do appreciate the dirt aspect.
Yeah, I would love to see him getting more dirt stuff. I watched him at the Chili Bowl this past year.
Commit murder,
and he needs a bit more practice than it. He's been out. He's been out the game.
That's what's funny about him is like he will make the A main of the Chili Bowl almost every year. Mm-hmm. So it's like he's good.
Yeah, I mean, when you have to commit murder to do it, though, is it okay?
He did that after the race was over, though.
I know, but he still did it.
He did it, yeah.
And if you don't know what we're referring to, watch the 2025
Chili Bowl. It was in a qualifier after the race. He tried to get Logan Seavey back.
Yeah.
For what he thought was a dirty move, and
which wasn't really dirty. No, I mean, I'm not being biased. It was a Chili Bowl, and if you know how that is, I mean, you got to make passes any way you can, and he literally, kind of like Cole Trickle did, put 4 new tires on the car after the race, and
but he flipped the guy.
Yeah, and so it was pretty crazy. So
dated Danica Patrick.
I know. Everybody has to know this story, right? About when he dated Danica?
I would think so,
the Moonrock story?
The Moonrocks, yeah.
Yeah.
So that one's funny because it was on Corey LaJoy's first podcast he had.
Yeah, I know.
And he went on like a Ford retreat.
Yeah.
And like...
Got to know Ricky.
Got to know Ricky, and Ricky probably told him like a very personal story.
And Corey LaJoy's just tearing it out to the world. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But so if you haven't heard that, I'll give you just a quick story. Is he was dating Danica, and I guess they were living together or something at the time.
Yeah.
And he was telling Corey that this lady's crazy because she has to charge her moon rocks because she couldn't sleep.
Yeah, he said they were in bed one night, and she like, you wake up.
Yeah.
She wakes up, and he's like, "What's wrong?" "What's wrong?" And she's like, "I gotta charge my rocks."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I don't know if I don't know if that's the woman for me. It's gotta charge her moon rocks."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her and Aaron Rodgers would be good together.
I know that. I thought they would have been.
I know.
I thought they would have been.
I know.
But
maybe she didn't like ayahuasca or something.
Something weird. She was a lot older than him too.
She is.
He was pulling an older woman there.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah. Not a bad
while it lasted. But all right, episode 47, the Marcus Ambrose Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Yes.
episode.
Yeah.
So we'll get into our overview. I feel like we've taken forever on that.
We actually did take a little bit of time, but honestly, the back half of the show, guys, we got some stuff in there for you, but of course we're on a bye week this week, so.
So this week's overview I want to talk about, this is one I've wanted to do for a while, and I felt like this was the perfect week, but it's called bushwhacking.
Yes.
So this is a term that I feel like was created kind of on social media, but it was called bushwhacking because the Xfinity Series used to be the Busch Series forever, right? And it started a long, long time ago, but Cup drivers would come down to the Busch Series and wax ass.
Every time?
Right, every time. We're talking Dale Earnhardt, Darrell Waltrip, those kind of guys. Well, back in the day, the Busch Series, and it's a different time in NASCAR, right? So the Busch Series is a little more regional. Everything good over there?
Yeah, no, I was.
Okay,
I had a couple questions, and I was trying to pull them up for this, so I'm sorry.
So the Busch Series,
listening.
The Busch Series was a little bit different, whereas a little more regional. They didn't necessarily have to go where the Cup Series was.
Okay.
And we see that sometimes now, like they go to Portland. That like next week they're going to Rockingham. Like Cup's not there. Cup's not anywhere.
I think that's cool though.
Yeah,
because we haven't been there. Like, Cup hadn't been there, but they still.
They went there for a little while. Like maybe 15 years ago.
Okay, but it's been a little bit of a drought.
It's been a while.
Okay,
and even like you talk about National Super Speedway.
Yeah,
like Xfinity, Busch Series, and trucks were going there forever,
all the time.
And the first Cup race was 2021.
That's where I saw my first ever NASCAR race in person.
No kidding.
Was at a truck race my dad took me to.
That's awesome.
At Nashville. Yeah.
So used to like when the sport was thriving a lot more and more money was going around, and mostly these cars weren't so expensive.
Yeah.
They had enough money to send these series other places where Cup wasn't. Well, once that really started coming together, well, then there's no restrictions, right? The Cup guys would just run Xfinity,
yes,
or run Busch, and they were just waxing ass. Dude, I'm telling you, the Busch Series champions every year were full-time Cup guys.
No way.
I'll give you a perfect example. So 2001, Kevin Harvick, he wasn't planning on running Cup, right?
Yeah.
We know what happened.
Yeah.
Dale died. He came in. Well, he had a full-time Busch ride already.
So he still had to run it.
So he still ran it. So he ran the Busch Series in 01, won the championship, and won Rookie of the Year in 2001.
That's insane.
Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Brad Keselowski all have won Xfinity Series championships
at the same
while being full-time Cup guys.
That's crazy.
So you had no chance if you were.
That'd be like Kyle Larson winning the Xfinity championship this year.
Yeah, which you could do by running half the races if the rules were different.
Of course,
because he's just waxing ass,
so
which
crazy.
Is what's gotten us to this point. So 2011, they make a rule.
Yep.
Okay, you have to declare which points you're going to do.
Yep.
Truck, Busch, or Cup. You can run as many races as you want, but you can only win. You can only declare points in one of them
because they were tired of Cup guys winning
the championship. So
yes.
As a driver, now granted, owner's points, right? We know that whole, and maybe we'll do that one day too if people don't quite understand that. But you've got owner's points and you've got driver's points.
It would be something good to talk about probably too, because I understand it in Cup, but it is, to me, it's weird that that Kyle Larson can get it in your Hendrick.
That 17 car. That's racking up owner's points.
Yes.
With William Byron, Alex Bowman,
yes.
all those guys, right? So basically the owner's points is attached to that car.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the owner's points is what pays the most money. We celebrate the drivers.
Yeah.
Right. In Cup, pretty much 100% of the time, the owner's championship and the driver's championship is the same person.
Yes. Most of the time.
Yeah. I can't think of a time it hasn't been, honestly, in Cup at least. But when we talk about Xfinity and trucks, after they made this rule, well, what did they do? They were like, okay, we'll just have an all-star car.
Yeah.
Kyle Busch is notorious for this. He would have his truck, and he'd run, half the truck races, win about 7 of them, and then just put somebody else in it for the rest of the time. And that truck would win the owner's championship every year.
Yeah.
So we solved our issue a little bit where we don't have Cup guys winning the driver's championship, but now the Cup guys are taking all the money because they're winning the owner's championship. So 2016 they changed that, right?
You can only run
X amount.
Yes.
They call it the Kyle Busch rule. You can only run X amount. So Kyle Busch, if you still want to field a truck year round and make it an all-star truck, you're only going to be able to get in it, I think it's like 5 times.
Yeah, I think it is
right.
5.
So make it, win all 5.
I think it's 5, including Xfinity. Like, you only get 5. Like, you can't run 5 Xfinity races and 5 truck races.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
You could be right. On that.
I feel like that's
but
the
they
rule.
limited it. I mean,
no, it's definitely limited. But I feel like that's. I don't know, because Kyle Larson's now ran 4, right, counting that, and to me, why wouldn't he? And I know this is kind of crazy off topic, but why wouldn't he not try to run at Bristol again? Because we don't go to Miami again.
Right. He could. I mean, I guess that all depends on if they want to field that car or not.
Yeah.
Because that's all coming out of Rick's pocket.
I know. I feel like they do it for him, though.
They might.
Yeah.
They might. Yeah.
Okay. But I don't know. But I feel like you're right. But I don't know. 5 races.
Yeah, 5 races. I can't remember if it's all together or both here and there. But so basically that was to prevent the Cup guys from coming in, making an all-star car, and just waxing ass as they did. So when they made the rule in 2011 that you had to declare what series points you were running, from 2005 to 2011, the Xfinity Series champion was a full-time Cup guy. From 2005 to 2011.
That's crazy.
Before that, Martin Truex Jr. was full-time Xfinity.
And he actually won it?
And he actually won it straight up.
Wow.
But from then till 2011, all Cup guys. That's your Brads, your Carls, your Kyles. Literally probably just those 3. As many times as they won it. Joey kind of never went full-time Xfinity.
Okay. Yeah. But he would have probably won one.
But he probably would have won one. Because every time he gets an Xfinity card, he won.
Yeah.
So basically that's where we're at now. So the reason I brought this up this week is, and that was the complaint back then, is like, Kyle Busch, dude, I'm telling you, when he got in a truck, there was no reason to even watch.
Yeah, he did. Dude.
Because he was going to wax ass. A lot of those drivers were like, well, I'm glad people like Kyle are here. Or in Xfinity, like, way back in the day, it was Mark Martin. Mark Martin would come in as a full-time Cup driver and just wax ass in the 90s. No one cared then.
No one.
Now we have social media, right? But
it's a big deal.
So I bring that up because we watched Kyle Larson dog walk the Xfinity field.
He did. And
everyone's griping about it.
And
Kyle Larson made the comments. I don't know if you saw this.
I did, of course. How could you miss this?
Right. He said, I want to embarrass the field.
Yeah.
And show them that, like, you might think you're good,
but you're not.
But here's what happens the day after you race.
Yeah. No, that was kind of one of the questions that I wrote down that I was pulling up. Was them doing this to bushwhacking good for the sport? Like, do you think limiting the Cup guys is good for the sport all around? Like, I can see both sides of it. I think you can easily say not good for the sport because, let's say you're at this is not a good example for us because we try to go to everything, right? Yeah.
But like if you're a hardcore Rush Chastain fan, and they're coming to Bristol, right? And you're the kind of guy that's like, I just watch Cup.
Yeah. Ross, there's people out
and
there
there's
like
most people, right?
Most people.
Okay. Ross is going to run Xfinity. Are you going to spend that $50 to buy an Xfinity ticket now?
Probably. Yeah.
Exactly.
100%. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, that's
my point.
I think it's the same thing of the reason when I came to Nashville, of course, I came to watch Truck, Xfinity, and Cup, but I went and saw Ross and Josh Berry racing that Cars Tour race.
Yes, exactly.
At the fairgrounds. I left
because
my campsite and drove 45 minutes downtown close to Nashville to watch them race. I wanted to see that. I could, if they weren't racing it, I can guarantee I would have never went to that.
And you don't know another name from that race.
No, no one.
Yeah.
No one.
So I think that's a big thing. I think the talent thing is part of it too. It's hard for us to speak on that because we're not in the cars. But
no.
I mean, obviously, it's going to make them better if they continue to get their asses waxed over and over.
Yeah.
But I do think it's like, what are you, if you're a Kyle Busch, right, and you're allowed to go run trucks full time right now, and you win the truck championship, like, what are you proving? I don't know.
I understand that, but
so that's where I see both sides of it. I think there's more pros to letting them do it than cons,
Yes.
but I can see the cons.
I feel like the cons are money related.
Yeah.
They're hurting the guys that they're hurting. The only truck team I can think of offhand is Rackley, but they're hurting these independent teams that don't have like Hendrick. They have a truck team. You can't count them as being that. But these independent teams like Big Machine Records, who had a truck, all that type, they're being hurt by that right there because they're not getting the big guys, but they probably could if more of them were allowed in there. But I know it's weird with contracts,
right,
and how that stuff works. So that sucks too. But I would love to see more of them race in these lower series.
Yeah, and I mean I can tell you back in the day, like these guys would win, the Brads, the Kyles.
Yeah,
they weren't borderline lapping the field like Kyle Larson does. So that shows you how much it's affected Xfinity. In the meantime,
and it's the same thing that we kind of talked about too before. We've hit on the fact of like you don't have the Matt Craftons, you don't have
the old school guys.
Yeah. I feel like you can throw Grant Enfinger in there kind of now. I mean, and not that they're still not good at what they do, but they're just on that downhill slide. They're out there doing the best they can. And if you had like if Truex would decide not to hang it up and go race trucks, that would have been really cool.
It would have been super cool.
That would have been really cool. And
So
I understand why he doesn't want to. There's no really money in it for him. He gets no glory for it. So it's just different. He would have to do it for the pure love of the sport. And not that he doesn't love the sport, but it's just you still have to have some financial incentives when you do that stuff because you are strapping into a race car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you could hit the wall.
Of course.
And it's going to hurt.
And honestly, he's probably not worried about himself. He's probably worried about every crazy person out there.
Yeah.
And
those children.
Yeah, he's racing against 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I just think if we could find a way to get more guys in the Xfinity cars, because I'm like you, I think it makes the racing better when I'm not just watching like when Kyle Busch watch it, when he races a truck race, I kind of want to watch. So
he raced, golly, I cannot remember what race Kyle Busch ran this year in the trucks.
He already ran one?
Yes, he already ran one. He already won. Golly, this is going to bug me to death. It was 1.5 miles. It might have been Vegas.
It had to be Vegas.
Right? It might have been Vegas. But anyway, he schooled these kids, and he would run the same line, and then he would run up top, and then he would drive it in and clear them every time. And he just kept doing it. Well, then, he kind of... Atlanta, yes, it was Atlanta. That's right.
Atlanta.
So he had found a way. He could take his truck and drive it in deep and clear the second place guy. And he schooled. I mean, it was like they were in line. You know what I mean? It was like he cleared this kid. Well, it gets down to Stuart Friesen, who's an older guy, a hardcore dirt guy, like just loves truck racing. Stuart Friesen has the advantage. There's a late race restart. And Kyle Busch lags back because he knows that coming off 4, he can side draft him and get there. Lags back and does it. Kyle Busch wins by 2 feet.
Wow.
But he knew. And it's that's what's missing from these series.
Yeah. No,
and how do you know that unless you get beat by that?
Yeah, you don't know.
It's the same thing we talk about in Cup with people like Bubba or a Josh Berry, these younger, inexperienced guys. You don't know how to win them till you lose them.
Yep.
And these guys are just
Carson, the same thing. You don't know how to restart with these guys until you
get waxed.
You get waxed every single time, and it makes you better.
Yeah, and maybe not the best comparison, but it's almost like if you're playing t-ball with a bunch of other people playing t-ball.
Yeah. No.
How are you ever going to learn how to play baseball?
Yeah, you're not.
You're not.
So,
any other thoughts on that? Do you want to move? I know you're itching.
No, I'm not. I'm not really itching.
Once I get you into Bristol Recap, I think I'll get something out of you.
You will. But NASCAR wanted this, right?
That's what they thought they wanted.
Okay, that's what they thought they wanted. Okay, that's kind of my.
And I think they would still think they want it, but it's you can't. And I don't know. I mean, I want the Xfinity guys to have their own personality and have their own, little thing. But when the model goes to pay to play, which is completely separate from what we're talking about now, you're not going to have that anyway. So it's almost like you have 2 problems causing the one issue.
Yeah. I agree. I actually agree.
I mean, I don't know.
Now, let's move on to where we're going to disagree.
Okay. All right, let's go to Bristol Recap.
Yeah. Race rating.
Good race rating. Do you want to give your rating and gripe, or can we just give our ratings and then get into it?
We're going to give our ratings and
give
get into
your ratings. Just give me a number.
Okay.
Don't say anything. I'll give you a number, and then I'm going to let you go.
Okay. 5.8.
7.7.
Okay. I'm going to be on the side that I agree with you in some extent. Like, this is how it used to be. This is how guys used to win. They used to win by lapping the entire field. Okay? My problem with this is that's not how everything's set up anymore. We have the playoffs. We have the winning you're in. We have all this other things to bring out the what's the word? The where everything's the same.
Parity.
Yeah. That's the word I'm looking for. We have all these things that bring out parity, and then we go to somewhere that has zero parity. You know what I like? Not zero parity, but everyone's parity, and then there's Kyle Larson. So
okay, before you go too far, parity. Everything's the same, right?
Yeah.
So our buddy Four Salts.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Let's go out on the golf course.
Yeah.
And our parity is me and him have the same set of golf clubs.
Yes.
Who's gonna win?
Him.
Why?
Because he's better.
Right.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Then why does he not win every week? If they're the same. If they're the same.
It's NASCAR. It's so random. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We're on the golf course, but there's a windmill. There's a volcano. There's a 90-mile-an-hour breeze. I mean, that's NASCAR.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I can get behind you on that, but just at the same time of like we're not seeing what I want to see at a short track. We're not seeing the tire wear. We're still not seeing tire wear.
Yeah.
I mean, dude did not have to pit if he didn't want to. They could. I literally still think that at the end of the race, Blaney is running 2/10 off of him, and he's ran 155 laps or something. He's running 2/10 off of Kyle Larson. Granted, who was in traffic, but you can argue Blaney's driving through traffic because everybody's everywhere. They're all driving through traffic. Everybody's everywhere, and Ryan Blaney is 2/10 off the pace of Kyle Larson when he's had 155, 160 laps on his tires, and Kyle Larson has 8. No, that's not what we should see. I don't think that's what we should see.
But even so, if you go back to like Gen 6, I mean, tire fall off was about the same.
You're probably right.
I mean, that's just like the Bristol, like the progressive banking.
Yeah.
Running multiple groups. Like, we've never had.
Well, you couldn't really run multiple groups, dude. Literally.
What are you talking about?
When you got in lap traffic, you could. But the problem also and again, not your fault. No one's fault except NASCAR.
Definitely not mine. I don't know why is that.
It's your fault.
I did nothing. I showed up.
The stages. The stages killed really good racing, especially at the beginning. Like when Kyle Larson catches Priest. There at stage 1, and Priest is not letting him by. Like, he's working him, which is I love to see. That was
amazing.
That was really good racing.
Yeah. That's old school.
That's old school racing, and it allows Denny to kind of catch them, and they're catching him, and then the stage ends. Like Larson gets by him, and they have 2 laps to go around. It's like, dang, Larson could have drove away, or we don't really know.
We don't know
because we know Priest.
Ryan Priest is the new Ryan Newman.
I know. I love it.
I love it too.
I'm not disparaging that, but at the same time, we know. I think Priest is smart enough. He would have let Denny right by him.
Yes. Because once you lose it, you lose it.
You lose it. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. So I think that for me was the biggest thing is when, and we've talked about it a billion times of how that's what makes the late models, the 410s, all these dirt things super fun. Is that there are, when they catch lap traffic, that's when the race begins.
Yeah.
And I just wish, if we're not going to have significant tire fall off, I literally think that to me, the tire fall off, you should notice it by 3 seconds if you run the whole first stage. Personally. I mean, you can say your stuff. I mean,
that's a good number.
I feel like that's a good number. Yeah. You should be able to see it. Like, if you're saving your stuff, maybe you're only down 2 seconds. I mean, I'm really fine with guys being good. I don't think that Kyle Larson should have won this race, even if we had tires were falling off like they did last year. You know what I mean? And we don't want that either.
Right.
But I think the stages really murdered what could have been a even better race. And again, my other gripe is the way they cover these races for me. Because also you have to take into
there.
Okay,
yeah.
we have to take this into consideration. You were at the track watching it, so you get to look at whatever you want. I have to look at what they show me.
Yeah,
which sucks.
Which I'm sure was abysmal.
Dude, we're at bumper camps.
Yeah,
you know, like we're
terrible.
at bumper camps at Bristol. What am I? Okay, I don't care if Chase Elliott's bumping in the back. He probably did that 7 laps in a row.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think that's another problem with it, which would have put it higher if somebody, the producer at Fox, if they get somebody from Flow in there, somebody who knows how to cover these short track races and what to actually watch, I think it would do wonders for this race. Because we saw the Jeff Gluck poll. 80% hated this race. They thought it was a bad race. I don't think it was an awful race. I really don't. I thought it was boring, but I also think that was just because of half the time the way they covered the race. I think they do a bad job of covering races where a dude is way better than everyone else, has a better car, whatever it is. I think they just do a bad job of it.
Ross Chastain came from like 30th to 10th.
I know.
I don't know if they talked about that at all.
Never.
Yeah.
We got to see him. Oh, they would, you know how they do the rundown?
Yeah.
Where you go like,
they're
okay,
like, oh, he's up 17 spots.
yes.
Yeah.
Like, okay, how about you show him doing
How did
that
that
a little
happen?
bit? Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you show him doing that a little bit? Because to me, you got to have a guy. There's so many people watching so many cameras there. You've got to notice when a dude's making moves. Like after 4 spots, 5 spots, throw a camera on him. Just watch him for a couple laps. You know,
see what he's doing.
See what he's doing.
You're not missing anything at the front.
No, we're not missing anything. If the front tightens up, we'll move back there. We're not missing anything.
Yeah, that's what's crazy about Flow, like you said, and I think, not to cut you off too much, but I think Flow does a great job. I think if Flow had the number of cameras that NASCAR had,
no, they would have the same
they'd be just
problem.
as bad.
They would. I agree.
Because like these people that, and no offense to them, but like go to school for this,
Yes.
and like they're like, use it all.
This is a
Use it
Hollywood
all.
production.
This is a Hollywood production, and it's not.
It's not.
Simple is the best. I mean, the best races we watch on Flow have 2 cameras.
Yeah.
2 cameras.
I know.
Right? Mm-hmm. And they have producers that are like, we have to watch it close because we have 2 cameras.
Yes, of course. And like I just don't understand why we have to. Literally, I think if I would have been there, I feel personally that I would have thought that race was a 7. I do, because you're in the atmosphere.
Yeah. It's hard to hate any race you go to in person.
It really, it had, I mean, crazy. So, but I just think that NASCAR or Fox could do a better job of making these races more interesting for the people to watch. I mean, I was one of the ones, I thought the Masters was more interesting because Rory was choking like he does. And I honestly, I missed some of the laps because you weren't showing me anything. You weren't showing me anything I wanted to watch. Like, did
they show that Larson like hit the wall with 3 laps to go?
Yes, they did show that.
Did they like freak out?
No. Have you not heard what they were doing while he's coming around?
No.
This is a travesty. Our boy Breakheart did a thing on it.
Okay.
But I instantly thought of it. Like when it happened, I was like, this is terrible. Clint, we're coming again. And we've talked about this before. Clint is a color commentator, and so is Kevin. Okay? So it's Clint, Kevin, and Mike Joy in the booth. And Mike Joy is the play-by-play guy.
Yeah.
Okay? There should be a call. I know it's not football or baseball or basketball, but there should be a dude that is calling the end of the race.
It's supposed to be Mike Joy every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's Mike Joy's fault. Like, I don't.
I'd love to blame it on him.
I'm just going to blame it on Clint because it's even easier.
That's even better.
Yeah, because he is yucking it up with Mike Joy. They're just talking about. They're not even talking about Kyle Larson at all. We watch him kind of hit the wall. They like brush by it because there's only 3 laps to go, and then Clint brings up like a weird story or something, and Kyle Larson crosses the finish line already. Like the race is over, and then Mike Joy goes, Kyle Larson winner. Doesn't even call it.
Oh my
Doesn't
God.
even call it. Like you would in dominating fashion. Here comes Kyle Larson on his second win of the year.
Yeah.
Second win of the year, right?
In dominating
fashion.
Yeah.
You want to hear that call. No. That's what I'm saying. I think that's why this race is worth it, and that's why people think it's so bad. Now, if we're looking at who I saw on the TV, there's not that many people there.
No. Well, that is the shitty part about Bristol, is there was definitely enough people there to fill the Titan Stadium.
Yes. No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, there's a lot of people there.
I don't know why they felt so compelled. And granted, they used to sell it out a lot.
Yeah.
For a very short amount of time. Why they felt compelled to build the largest stadium in the United States of America?
I know.
I have no idea.
I know. And I agree. There was a bunch of people there for a NASCAR race. Way more people than are going to be at Nashville. Way more people that are going to be.
That's like when you go in the fall. Like the last fall I went to was like a record crowd for the last 15 years or so.
Yeah.
And it was like 100,000, maybe 110. Mm-hmm. And it still looks bad.
It still looks empty.
Because it holds 150.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
Because for 3 years they sold it out. I mean, I get it, but like whoever is like planning and like forecasting for NASCAR, like they had some bullheaded people in there back in the day.
And I don't think I don't think that was probably an SMI deal or whoever was owner of the track when they did that.
It was SMI when they did it.
Yeah, when they did that expansion. I think that's not their fault. They can't control the rules of how the sport went.
No, I know, but at the same time,
you build it, they will come kind of mentality.
I'm saying, think about this. When we're Tennessee fans, right?
Yeah.
When Tennessee was bad, dude, we couldn't get a sellout unless it was Alabama.
No, 100%.
Right? And it was Alabama coming in.
Yeah.
To watch Alabama dog walk us.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But, I mean, I've went there for several games, and even when we're good and you go to something like Homecoming, dude, that place looks empty.
It does look empty.
Right? And that holds 100,000 people. Mm-hmm. And there's a way bigger college football fan base than NASCAR. That just is what it is. So it's wild to me that they, at any time, even at the heyday of the sport, that they thought it is sustainable to make a place with 150,000 seats.
I agree. But at the same time, I think another aspect of going into this is, especially if you're from around here, you're from Virginia, you're from Kentucky, that area just north of Bristol, you're from, I guess, South Carolina would be... Or North Carolina would be right there. I'm sorry, not South Carolina. North Carolina would be right in that range. Anywhere in East Tennessee, you're within a 2-hour drive. If you're within a 2-hour drive of Bristol, say you know about Bristol because you live that close to it. You're like, hey, it's Bristol weekend. Let me turn on the race, and then you watch that. You're like, why would I want to go?
No, I agree.
And I agree. You have to inspire people to go to these races.
Yeah.
And of course Fox doesn't want to do that because then they lose that. But at the same time, to me, I mean,
my solution for Bristol for several years, and I am not a marketing person. I'm not. So there's obviously reasons why they don't do this, and you don't want to devalue what your product is either.
No.
But in my mind, take the price of a Bristol ticket, which is expensive,
especially where you sit,
especially where we sit.
Yeah.
If we and I've got season tickets, but if I were to buy my race day tickets, by the time fees and everything are over, it's $150 a ticket, right?
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's a lot.
It feels like a lot.
Yeah.
It feels
because
like a lot.
You could buy a $30 ticket and walk up to where you're at.
Right.
I mean, there's no one there, dude.
Yeah, there's no one there.
You could pick anywhere.
Yeah. Why do we not advertise? And I get this is going to devalue it. It's going to seem like a clearance sale. Bristol tickets half off.
Yeah.
Right? And we get way more people. Whatever we lose, whatever SMI, not we, because I don't make any money off of this. I just spend money to go to Bristol. Whatever they lose off that, think about the concessions, the parking, more people would come camping, the more traffic.
Yeah.
Right?
They wouldn't even have to devalue the ticket. You take half off of what you guys pay to camp.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Which surprisingly, that's very reasonable.
It's not bad. You're right.
If you take into account how many people can stay there and all that. Granted, I don't pay that bill.
No.
Thank you, Dad.
Yeah.
But I don't pay that bill. But if you take it into account, compared to what they do to hotels in the area, it's pretty good. So, like, my idea has always been cut the ticket price. I mean, dude, you can make a $20 ticket if you sell it out.
Yeah.
Compared to the $7. And it's still, I'm telling you, there's at least 60,000, 70,000 people there.
Yeah.
Which is a lot.
And it's so funny is like, you say devalue, but if you're not to me, I don't know why.
I know, I'm just thinking that's what they think.
I know.
Because they're devaluing
I know,
the experience.
but even if you're devaluing something, if you sell 150,000 tickets, if you sell them for $10 a piece, and you get everyone in there, everyone's buying a hot dog
more
and a
obliged.
Coke.
I would probably be more obliged to not pack as big of a cooler.
Of course, because
and trek a mile with it.
Yes.
Because I'm just going to buy, I'll buy an $8 beer because I spent $10 on a
It's the
ticket.
same thing when your company takes you out for a nice dinner and they're like, hey, we'll buy everything but alcohol. Well, you're like, well, I'm going to spend $50 in alcohol.
Because I didn't buy this $100 steak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the same principle. I don't know why. You're exactly right. I don't know why we couldn't do something like that because it is such a... That would get more fans to go other places. That is one of the best tracks to go to because, like you said, even though that race was boring, for me it was boring, dude, there is so much to watch what's going on there.
And
because
imagine
you can see everything from anywhere.
And imagine if it was boring. I mean, I'll tell you, like, when Kyle Larson hit the wall, which is where we started with this, obviously we're listening to MRN on the Skinners.
Yes.
MRN. Oh!
Yeah.
Just freaking out. And then the whole crowd is just like...
Yeah.
Because everyone's sitting there waiting, especially me and my dad were like texting each other, how's he going to give this up?
Yep.
Because
he does that.
He does that,
yeah.
right? And then he hits the wall and we're like, here it is. And people are freaking out. Imagine that times 2.
I know.
Because there's twice as many people there.
Yeah. No, so, I just think, we got to work on it, and it's not necessarily anything NASCAR should do with the car. The last thing I had, then we can kind of move on if you're good with that. Far.
Well, I've got a few things. I was expecting more argumentative things, so I was.
I
will say there definitely probably is things they can do with the car, right?
Yeah, but they're not gonna. It's more
the same
horsepower.
It's the same stuff we said all the time. Everyone keeps bringing up 2021.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. 2021 was a good race. I think it was pretty close to the race we had Sunday, except if you remember what caused all that is once Chase got into lap traffic, Harvick and Larson were able to catch him.
Yeah.
We didn't see that as much with Denny and Larson, but once they caught him, that's when Harvick ran Chase up, and they had the old steel bodies. He cut a tire, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you stop right there, what happened? Harvick would have ran away with it.
Yeah.
He would have won by 2 seconds or so, probably about what Larson did.
Yeah.
All right.
And it would have been 11 out of 10 for me because that's my driver. You know what I mean too? That plays into it.
But Chase Elliott decides to do race manipulation.
Yes.
Right. And so if you think 2021 was a good race because of the finish and the drama, I'm with you. That was great drama. I loved seeing them getting into it. All that's great, but like, if that's what makes a good race to you, did you want Ryan Preece to come out there and stomp on the brakes for Kyle Larson and then make Denny pass him? I mean, let's think about what made that so great, right? And at the end of the day, it was like some really messed up stuff with race manipulation.
Yes.
Okay? And it was steel bodies that at the time everyone complained, especially Chase fans, like, you can't run into each other without cutting a tire. Everyone hated that.
Yeah.
So we go to a composite body, right? That part's good. The big tire, not so
because
great.
Kyle Larson would have cut a tire down. And he would have lost that race.
Well,
as hard as he hit the wall, like this week, if we're still running that steel body. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he would have cut a tire.
He would have cut a tire down. Done.
Yeah. Is that good?
No,
I know that. I'm not complaining to you.
Okay.
I'm not bitching at you.
Yeah.
I'm complaining in general. So that's there. Could we have more horsepower and skinnier tire? Yes.
Yeah.
That would make everything great. I'm not convinced we would have saw a different race. I don't know if they talked about this on TV, but when Larson's slicing through lap traffic, he's diming in the corner.
He was.
He's going up high and he's going real low especially at a 3 and 4, and no one else is doing it. And we've watched him do it for 400 laps at this point. We have SMT or whatever they changed it, but SMT basically. We have that, right? We have all these people in the war room that are obviously telling these guys, do that.
Yeah.
Do that.
But they're
Larson's
still not doing it.
They can't do it, right?
Yeah.
They obviously can't do it, okay? We've made a car that's so even that you can't pass, right? So if somebody absolutely dominates, to me, if we're talking about a Darlington, right, what was my complaint? When you get into dirty air,
it changes
everything, right?
Yeah.
So you can take your 20th place car,
put him up
first. Okay. If you put Kyle Larson in 20th,
he's going to do the same thing.
I think he does the same thing. He lapped up to 9th.
I know. No,
So is there stuff they can fix with the car?
Yeah.
Yes. Does that change the outcome of Sunday? I don't think so, because let me and you're not arguing with me, so I'm not griping at you once again, but people that have this argument, change the car, right? What does everybody say? Xfinity. Put them in Xfinity.
I know.
What happened Saturday?
Dude,
it was worse than Sunday.
I know.
It was worse than Sunday.
It was.
I think people need to appreciate, and obviously I'm biased, right? Number one, I was there, so I think it's a good race. Number two, huge Kyle Larson fan.
Yes.
We need to appreciate how good Kyle Larson is.
Yeah. I can't wait for him to go wreck on lap 3.
And he could.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that is the dynamic of Kyle Larson, right?
Yes.
You can rep lap 6 of Darlington.
Yeah.
And then come out and wax the field on the very next week. I mean, that's Kyle Larson.
Yeah.
And it's probably good that he's that way. Otherwise, he'd win every race.
Yeah, we won't.
So thank God he's a psychopath. and tries to win every single lap.
Every single time. Every lap. He wants to
So
run.
I don't know. That's where I'm at. I mean, I'm very biased because I was there. We had a great time.
Yeah.
I was there with my family. I don't care if the race was actually bad. I had a great time because
I'm not saying it was bad, but I do think that we can.
I'm once again.
No,
I'm
I
not
know.
mad at you.
No, you don't have to be mad at me,
Yeah.
but it just. I loved that we had this conversation because at the same time we got two different experiences. Because I really do believe.
Yeah, I hate that's how TV is.
I know, but I also feel like even though if you take Kyle Larson out of the equation or not biased, we still get the same result. I still feel like you're kind of on the same level as me.
Yeah.
Of where it was it's probably a little higher because Kyle Larson won, at the same time.
For sure.
And I like Kyle Larson, so I didn't hate him winning, but I just think they just do such a terrible job at really showing you what's going on elsewhere. Like they're just not doing a good. They're looking at freaking Corey LaJoy doing whatever he's doing. And
I heard Del Jr. on his podcast because I like to listen. I'm like the opposite of you. I like to listen to him.
Yeah.
Before we come on, and he was like, "Yeah, you just couldn't race through the field." He's like, "I'm not mad at Kyle Larson dominating, but you couldn't race through the field." I'm like, Blaney, Chastain, like there was people that could race through the field. It's just this car is close, right? They're all running the same speed, but that in some respects the drivers should matter more. Mm-hmm. Now it hurts when we have low horsepower. There's less off throttle time. The tires so gripped up.
Yep.
Fix those problems, and we'll see the driver matter even more.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
No, I'm with you. And then the last thing I wanted to say about it was, so they threw PJ1 down on the bottom of the
which
track.
they always have.
They always have.
Yeah.
Just a thought, because I know how PJ1 works, but at the same time, it's a really weird concept that you're putting down a sticky substance that grips the tires more, so you have more grip, so you can go faster. Okay, but to me, these cars have a ton of corner speed anyway. So
if they didn't do that, they would be on the wall from lap 1 to the end. So kind of the way, and it's a little bit different. So they're
trying to get the bottom.
They're trying to get the bottom worked in, right? Yeah. They're trying to get the bottom worked in and make the bottom the preferred groove. So like in the old Gen 6 car, what would happen is it'd be bottom heavy. Uh-huh. Well, then that PJ1 wears out. You lay rubber down, it gets slick. Okay. Well, then you go to the top. Okay. And then they spin.
But it still becomes one line, like technically as.
Kind of, because
what I'm saying, like dominant, the dominant line just moves from the bottom to the top.
To the top. So then the top's dominant, right? Yeah. Well, then they lay rubber down in the top from running it so much.
Okay, and it becomes slick.
So then at the end of the race, in Gen 6, you'd have top, middle, and bottom all had their times of being the best, right? Mm-hmm. Well, now they're all rubbered up. So now you're just, if you're a Kyle Larson and you can run a slick top, you do that. If you're a more traditional late model guy like a Chase Elliott,
you're gonna
run the bottom. Yeah. They're both just as bad. So you start bottom's better, you start moving up, middle's better, you start moving up, top's better. By the end of the race, they all suck equally. Okay. And it's all depending on how you can, and that's all from, you talk to some old school Bristol people, they wanted that single lane root and gouge. There was no moving up the track, but when they made it progressive banking, the top was dominant all the time. So that's why they went PJ1 to get you on the bottom, to then get you a lane up, to then get you to the top.
Okay, so because I'm watching this and I'm like, dude, somebody get off the bottoms. You know what I mean? Because you want to.
You can't because it's gripped up.
I understand. Yeah. You okay? Well, my thought is, could we throw again? I don't know how it works. Could you throw say they put 3 coats of PJ1? I don't know. And they may just put 1. Can you put a half coat of PJ1 at the top at the beginning of the race? You know what I mean? So you're still getting.
I think it would, since the top's already preferred.
But it's
right.
But it's,
you would just immediately go to the top, and then.
But then it would slick up way faster than the bottom.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, in the old car, now we're not laying as much rubber. That's the other thing that I didn't say. Is
we're
like
not
now
laying.
we don't lay rubber down. Mm-hmm. So
that was the other problem they had. They didn't lay rubber down.
Yeah, they didn't lay rubber down.
It was beaten up.
Yeah,
we did. They showed us that
because the problem is like, and Kyle Larson talked about it since he's been running Bristol, which has obviously been all progressive banking. It's always been wide ass open.
Yeah, and
not tire wear some, but not kind of like what we're seeing now. It's not a huge ordeal. Nothing like last spring.
No.
And so that's why they laid the PJ1 to get you on the bottom, to then get you on the top, and then make them both equally terrible.
Yeah.
To then you race it out.
Okay. But I mean, you see what I'm saying?
No, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like just to get that faster, because like you said, everyone's running the bottom to work in that PJ1, which I understand. There's where their speed. Then everyone moves up. Okay. To me, you lay down that same PJ1 on the bottom, okay? Well, there's a lot of guys in the field now that like running the top more.
Yeah.
And to me, it's already preferred anyway, but you can't do it because the bottom has so much grip. If you throw down less PJ1, but something with more grip there, more guys up there making the same time. Now you're making the same time. So now, once those lanes get bad, you're like, what do I do now? To me, it gets to the end goal quicker.
Yeah.
And
no, I agree. Yeah, I think
it should be interesting.
I think it's a perfect solution. Like if we were laying rubber down, like you said.
Yeah. Okay.
If we were laying rubber down, then yeah.
Okay.
For sure, in my opinion.
I was just curious. That's just what I was
think
thinking.
they should have done that in Gen 6. That'd be a perfect idea for Gen 6. Because then you get the racing going more to where you wouldn't have to wait.
We're in the middle of stage 3 we're in the middle of stage 2, and everyone's still kind of sticking to the bottom pretty hard.
Because it hasn't worked.
It hasn't worked in yet. Yeah. So I don't know. You just get them off the bottom quicker. And I understand the top's more dominant, but to me, you made the bottom too dominant at the same time.
Yeah.
We wanted. I don't care if you're past anybody, but I'd like to see somebody run a different line. To see what they could do.
Yeah, see what they can do.
See what they could do. But I mean, literally every time someone would go to the top, I mean, you're hanging on their quarter panel for 3 laps. And then,
and they don't get the top worked in until they hit lap traffic.
Yes.
Which, once again, if we didn't have stages, they'd probably get worked in sooner.
Exactly. So, all right.
Good point.
All right. We've ran pretty long now.
Okay.
And where
are we at?
Hour 25.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
okay.
we ran
Well, let's talk about our standouts real quick.
Yeah.
And then we'll update bets, and then we'll
get out of here. We'll choose who's on.
God. Okay. We're going real long.
Yeah.
All right. SVG Suarez 2-7. SVG got caught up in Cody Ware's BS, but Suarez didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So once again, Suarez is stealing them.
Mm-hmm.
Cindric Berry 4-5. Hocevar Gibbs 2-7. Gibbs found speed.
Finally.
Hocevar finished 11th. I mean, I don't know what else he can do in a Spire car. And then Bubba Briscoe, we're getting.
But those Spire cars were up there. We didn't even talk about them. They were up there all day. Yeah. And I will say, I loved watching Justin Haley in that 7 just absolutely
Corey LaJoy's out there?
Yes, wild Corey LaJoy's out there. And, of course, no one was catching Larson. We already knew that at this point, but he's holding off Denny. He's holding off Christopher Bell, Willie B. Dudes that are good.
Yeah.
He's riding in front of them. So it's like Blaney. He's doing all this while Corey LaJoy's on the track in that same car.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Who may as well have been in a Honda Odyssey.
Yeah, dude. You could have put him in a box truck and it would have been the same.
It probably would have been the same.
Yeah.
And then we got Bubba Briscoe, Bubba 5, Briscoe 4. So Briscoe got one back.
And last week he was wrong.
I was wrong. Yeah. I was going to say that. Don't worry.
Okay.
So I was wrong. I had my numbers messed up. I know everyone was screaming at the screen saying that. But that's our standouts. I want to talk about our bets real quick. So after last week, we are down 2.58 units.
Yes.
The wheel is down 1.88.
Wheel is on a hot streak.
So you need to beat the wheel. The wheel's hit 3 times.
But what we do have going for us, and we'll talk about this on the next show, we have Talladega.
We have our strategy.
And we have our strategy.
We have our strategy.
Our strategy is going to win again.
Is going to win again.
Yes. It's already hit once this year.
It has.
It hit Daytona, and now this is our second. If we don't count Atlanta, so I mean we have to count Atlanta. So we're 50% on it. Let's take it to 66%, 2 out of 3, and hit it at Talladega. And of course, we're not doing anything because they don't have odds out on that stuff yet. But
we'll get into that. Yeah. We'll get into that right now, actually. So real quick, before you tell us what we're going to do this coming week, I want to just talk about real quick our experience at Bristol.
Yes.
So I was there all week. Huge shout out to my dad. Brought the RV. We had a big time. Shout out to Jeff. Big time. My dad has some sweet tickets. Yeah. Courtesy of the Hard Rock Bristol.
Yep.
And
if they'd like to sponsor.
Yeah, if they'd like to sponsor, yeah. My dad gives you enough, you can give it back.
Yeah.
But so Friday, Spencer came up for the truck race. That's what you were able to come to, was just the truck race. Didn't buy a ticket because we didn't know if it was coming or not. And I had 2 sweet tickets. My dad texts his rep and says, I need one more. Anything you need, Jeff.
Yes.
Anything you need. So we ended up spending the truck race in the suite at Bristol.
And if I've been to Bristol many a times. If you have never sat in a suite at a NASCAR event, and I know it's hard to do, it would be easier for a truck race, for an Xfinity race, but if you can make it happen, that experience was incredible. Dude, just being able to sit there, you can have your headphones in, you can listen, you can watch the telecast. They're piping in the sound. You don't even need headphones if you don't want any. If you just want to watch the race, it's not loud, but you can still see the cars perfectly.
Pretty loud too.
Pretty loud, but I'm not
comfortably loud.
Comfortably loud. Yeah. Yes, that's the words I'm looking for. Comfortably loud. You're sitting over top. There's not a better seat than where you're at. And we got lucky because it was chilly.
Yeah.
And it felt amazing.
I think that race ended up being like 45 degrees by the end of it.
Yeah.
And I told my dad, I was like, if you don't have sweet tickets, like I hate to be this guy, but we'll watch it in the RV.
Yeah.
We can open the door and hear the sounds.
Yes.
And he got those tickets. It's like, I don't think I could have done it, man. If we were in the stands,
it was cold.
I don't think I could have done it.
It was chilly.
Especially
for a little boy like you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I didn't know the meat on my bones.
But huge thank you to Jeff for allowing me that experience. I FaceTimed everybody under the sun while I was in the booth.
It was a good time. So we had a good night. We came back. We drank a few beers. We watched. Well, I didn't watch, but we put Beverly Hills Cop on.
Yeah, and you fell asleep 5 minutes in.
I fell asleep, yeah.
5 minutes in.
Yeah. And y'all stayed up.
Till 3 a.m.
Till 3 a.m. Yeah.
Watching that movie. But we before we go, we got to give a diss to somebody. Okay. And we're going to do it because that's just what it is. Because it was false information from our boy Cody Jinks, right?
Yes.
Cody Jinks. Okay, so we Jeff has gotten these tickets before.
Yes,
last year. He got these tickets before, and I am at the truck race, sitting in the grandstands because you guys brought more people last time, and I'm not part of the family, which I understand. But they're great friends. I made it this year. Thank the Lord, other people had to work, but I made it this year. But so. You guys got an experience where you got to go down inside of the track
on the roof of the Sugarland platform. What do they call it?
Yeah, platform. And so we're at the race. We're 10 laps into stage 1, and the rep's coming around. She's talking to us, names off, and then I don't know who mentioned it, but one of us was like, "Hey, are we going to be able to go down to the inside this year?" And he's like, "Yeah, let me ask." And so he gets the rep over there, and she's like, "Yeah, you want to go right now?" And we're like, "Well, you guys had said it takes a while to get down there," which we're up at the very top. It's a huge place. I completely understand. And anyway, if you don't know how it's set up, Sugarland is right next to Victory Lane where they pull the car anyway. Yeah. So I was like, to me, and the whole consensus of our 3-parters is like, let's go down at the end of the race so we can kind of see that. And I've never been inside that track with cars on the track, so we had made a plan, perfect plan, and we're eating. I ate like 7 hot dogs and drank some beers, and you had to go pee, and then Jeff was like, "Hey, talk to the rep, make sure we're good to go," and you're like, "Yeah, because we needed passes last time, whatever." Yada yada. We go up there, and your boy Cody Jinks, we don't know his real name, but that's his nickname. And if you're out there and you catch us, man, you probably know you're
hell.
Yeah, I mean, you may be a good dude, but you screwed us.
Yeah,
You screwed
I
us
talked to
bad.
him, and I was like, "Hey, can we go down?" And granted, like none of these people in the suite are NASCAR people. They haven't been here before. And he was like, "Well, you gotta go." I was like, "I don't want to be that guy, but I've been there before."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, you can go anytime you want." I was like, "Well, we need passes."
Yeah.
Last time we had passes, he's like, "I've already cleared it. You don't need passes."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "That sounds wrong."
Yeah.
I've already checked.
Dude's in a suit.
Yeah, in a suit.
He's looking like Cole Trickle. He's
exactly.
looking.
Yeah.
He's
On
looking
day
like
one,
Cole Trickle.
Like I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need passes. I'm like, huh? Okay.
Maybe so. I mean,
maybe so. I don't know.
We did have wristbands.
We had
Maybe
wristbands that said suite.
Yeah.
It's the only people that can get down there. You have to have a suite to have the Sugarlands pass.
Yeah.
Yada yada. And we walk all the way down there. Takes a while.
No.
Go ahead.
We walked down there right after 10 laps into stage 3. Okay, the best, not the best racing we had seen, but
Yeah.
we wanted to see the
It's
end of the
still
race.
truck racing.
It's still truck racing. We wanted to see the end of the race because our boy Kyle Larson was racing.
Yeah.
And so we make the trek down there, and we get down there, and dude hits us with, "You need passes."
Yeah.
And I mean, there was nothing that we could do.
No.
Like he let us out to dry. He hung us out to dry on the 3 Sugarland passes, and was never more mad at Cody Jinks than I was at that moment of robbing me of a great experience of seeing a race. So we end up catching the last 20 laps in the
with the
stands.
phantom missed caution.
Yeah, with the phantom missed caution, but
But it was good.
It was fun. It was
I
fun.
definitely their fault.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was. We did nothing wrong.
Yeah, we did nothing wrong.
They said that.
Yeah,
you
they
don't
said
need
that, yeah.
passes. And what are we supposed to do? No, we need passes. Like,
I know.
dude's working there.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
So my dad complained to them as he should.
Yeah.
They apologized, and then he won money the next day at the casino. So they must have done something on the background.
let's go.
They went in there and ran the code and said make sure
Make sure
the fire link hits.
make sure that player's card is
That's
working.
right.
Yeah.
So, but no, good experience. Tell them about what we got going on next week.
Yeah,
We'll get
so
into
next
Choose
week,
Who's On.
guys, and we'll get into Choose Who's On. Next week, we, of course, don't have a race to recap, anything like that. So what we're going to do is not on this Saturday, but next Saturday, the 27th, I think it is, or 26th maybe.
Yeah.
We are going to do another we did a live we kind of did a live podcast where we just watched the race. This one's actually going to be live. So if you're tuning in for the Xfinity race, me, Austin, we'll have Colby back with us. We're going to watch the Xfinity race. We're going to go live on YouTube and just come and hang out. I mean, it'll probably be 3 hours of us
Listening to Colby.
listen to Colby. But we're gonna do bets then. We're gonna have everybody there.
Yeah.
We'll do bets, and it'll kind of just be a fun time. I'm super excited. The last one went really well. You guys actually watched a 3-hour podcast,
Yeah, it was wild.
which was crazy. So this one will be live. Turn the Xfinity race on. Turn us on in your headphones or something, and let's have a good time because I guarantee we can call the race better than Mike Joy.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, I guess it'd be the Xfinity race, so Joey may be up there.
It'll be on the CW.
Yeah, the CW. Yeah, it'll be on CW. So those guys don't do a horrible job,
No,
but
but we can do better.
we're going to do better. Yeah.
Yep. And we can bully Colby. We haven't seen him in a while.
I know.
So we're looking forward to that. I hope
can't
y'all
wait.
tune in. I think that's all we got. We're not going to do predictions yet. So
Nope.
we'll tidy that up next week on Saturday for the live one. Let's get into Choose Who's Zone
Let's do it.
since we've been rambling. You want me to look away?
Maybe, possibly.
I'm looking away.
Okay. Oh. Oh, hold on. I gotta. Ooh.
I'm holding.
I forgot
holding.
this last week. I forgot to throw the.
So our score, I have 5. Spencer has 3.
And I'm hopefully going to even the score, but I feel
Colby's
like
1-0. Are you going to do a Choose Who on him?
we definitely should. I'll write that down. I'll do a Choose Who's On for him. I
I don't want one.
You're
I
not
want to see
getting-
him suffer.
Okay, that's fine. And I'll make it difficult because he's not going to.
Maybe I'll give you one.
Oh, don't embarrass me like that.
I'll make it Dale Jr. again.
Junior.
Is it Cole Trickle?
Yeah. You would do that to me.
God, that'd be so perfect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it Lightning McQueen.
You're gonna make it. Who'd you say from Talladega Nights?
John Gerard.
John Gerard. Yeah, you're going to
No,
make
that's
it
episode
Gerard.
55.
Oh,
buddy.
okay.
Don't worry.
All right.
Episode 47. Wasn't that Cal Naughton Jr.?
47?
Yeah.
That does sound right. He may have been.
Say the rules real quick, and I'll look this up. I think it was. Dude, I should.
I know that movie a little bit better.
I possibly could have got you 2 weeks in a row.
I would have banished you from the show. Choose who's on. We got to roll. We're trying to get you guys out of here.
No, go ahead.
Three facts, 2 questions, 3 total guesses. He can trade guesses for questions. If you don't know that already, your 3 facts this week. It was the 47.
Yeah, Cal Naughton was 47.
Baby.
Yeah,
let's go. So your 3 facts this week are made Cup Series debut in 1987. Best finish in points was 1991, finished 16th. And his best finish ever was second. He did it's second in a race, not in points. Okay. Second in a race. He did it twice, once at Darlington and once at Michigan.
You gave me somebody that's never won a race in their life.
Yep. Never won a race in your life.
God.
But I told you where he finished. Twice.
Oh, yeah, you did do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Can I get a hometown on this driver?
Yeah, you can. You can get a hometown. No, I can't give you a hometown.
Are you shitting me? Is it that obvious?
I don't know. It might be. I feel like once I say the hometown. Okay. Hometown. Clara, Alabama.
Clara. You don't want to say it.
Calera. Calera.
Oh, you don't want to say it because he's in the Alabama gang.
Yes.
That's got to be why you don't want to say it.
Yes. I mean, you knew it. But he didn't win a race. Who's in the Alabama game?
He died in... Is he... Oh. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Did this driver pass away in a NASCAR car? In a race car. In a practice section. In a Country Time Lemonade car.
I don't remember reading that. But...
You don't remember reading that? Oh, now I look like an idiot. Oh, I think he did win a race, actually. I don't think about it. The person I'm thinking of, I think he did win a race.
Okay. Well, that's your 2 questions.
Are you telling me no?
Yeah, he's still alive.
He's still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive.
What in the world?
I mean, now I'm feeding you answers, but...
I know. No, that's great. I don't know why you thought it would be easy then. Can you go back to the hints, please?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just never show the questions thing, and I think...
From Alabama, and for some reason you think that's important.
Well, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, he was in Alabama.
So was it Davey's brother that passed away?
I don't know who passed away. Okay, I'm sorry.
But you say he didn't pass away. You say he's still alive.
This driver didn't.
He's still alive.
I don't know who.
But you're making it sound like he's in the Alabama gang.
Okay. Dude, you think whatever you want to think.
Made Cup Series debut in 1987. From Alabama. And you're worried about that.
I was worried about that.
Why are you worried about that? Best finish was second. Twice at Darlington. So he wasn't half bad. Unless this would have been during the Tire Wars. So you could have had Hooters on. And then it makes no sense. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. I think you screwed me on this one. Are you sure he's not dead?
Yeah, he's not. No.
You're positive he's not dead?
He's
alive and well. He's kicking today.
Yes, from everything I'm reading. You.
Well, tell me his name. I'll look him up.
No.
From Alabama. Why are you so worried about that? Why are you so worried about Alabama?
I was worried about that one.
So he is in the Alabama gang, is what you're saying?
Maybe. Is he? He's from Alabama.
Half of them are gone. That's the thing.
He grew up in Alabama. Does that
Davy's gone.
Does that make you part of the Alabama game?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Well,
Davy's gone.
You're chit-chatting and your time limit's running out.
Neil Bonnet's gone. Davy's brother, who I believe was named Clifford, was gone. Clifford Allison's who I'm thinking. But I believe he's dead. Clifford Allison. Davy Allison's still around. Or I'm sorry, Davy Allison's not. Davy Allison died in 93. Won a bunch of races. You got Bobby Allison. You got Donnie Allison that won a handful of races, was racing way before this. Clifford Allison, I swear, is not here anymore.
Okay. Are you guessing him or not?
And I still got a question left?
No, you've used both your questions.
I only have 2 questions.
Yeah.
Why do I never remember that?
I don't know, but you asked his hometown and you asked
I know.
if he
I remember. I
died in an accident, and I told you no.
Is it Clifford Allison?
It is not.
I know, because I think he's dead.
Okay, now you have 2 guesses
I
left.
think he's... Oh, my God. No, I want you to look that up. Can you look up... I think Clifford Allison died in a race car.
Clifford Allison?
Yeah.
You keep thinking.
Oh, my God. Well, you screwed me up being so scared about his hometown. Can I swap a question for a guess?
He did. He died in a traffic collision.
Yeah. But I guessed him anyway.
Yeah.
In a traffic collision?
Yeah. That's what it... I mean...
So not like on a racetrack.
I don't know. It just said traffic collision. I didn't go into
You would think that
detail.
they wouldn't say that for a racetrack, right?
Let me do a little bit...
No, it's okay.
He was killed in a crash during practice for NASCAR Busch Series race at Michigan. So you're all over it. He was good at Michigan.
I am all over it? Or what?
No, I mean, you were all over thinking about him, but you're wrong.
I don't think there's any other Allisons left.
Mm-hmm. You're not thinking about the great-great-grandchild.
I don't think there's any Allisons left. I really don't.
Okay. You have 2 guesses.
It's not Davey. It's not Bobby. Or could it be... Donnie was way before. Oh, my gosh. Can I ask... I'm going to swap a guess for a question, and we'll just get this over with. Who did he race for in his... I guess when he finished second. No. Who did he race for in 91?
In 91, he raced for Bobby Allison Motorsports.
So I'm all over it. It's some Allison I don't know. That's what it is.
Is it?
It's got to be.
How can you not know all the Allisons?
I evidently don't.
I need a guess. You're way over. We've taken half the show. We're at 9 minutes.
It's got to be an Allison. I'm trying to think of the other Allisons. Davey, Clifford. It's got to be an Allison. I know. Does that count? A last name?
Is that your guess? It's an Allison?
Now you're making me think it's not.
I don't know, dude. You have to give me a name.
Is it an Allison?
Is that your final guess?
That's my final guess.
No, it's not.
Oh my God.
You ready?
Yeah. Drum roll. I love the drum roll. Thank you.
Hutch Strickland. Yeah.
Dude, he was so old when he had to have been so old when he ran back then. Is he not an old school,
He started racing in 87.
When was he born?
In 61. So he wasn't that old. He would have been. He would have been early 20s. I know.
I never knew that he was.
He's the last member of the Alabama gang.
Alabama gang.
You were all, dude. I knew Alabama would
married Davy Allison's daughter.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Wouldn't that not add up numbers wise?
Huh?
Wouldn't he married Davy Allison's daughter?
Yeah.
You sure it was Davy's? Davy would have been the same age as him.
That's what. Maybe Davy had kids young.
Is that crazy? That seems crazy to me. What year did you say he was born? 61?
61. He's 63 now.
Dude, I'm telling you, Davy's that same age.
He married Pam Allison, The daughter. Oh, I wrote it. It's Donnie. I'm so sorry. It's Donnie
Okay,
Allison's daughter.
that makes way more sense.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Chris Hansen almost.
Donnie Allison.
We almost caught a predator.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
almost caught a predator
Uh-huh.
there. Wow.
After they were introduced by her cousin and fellow racer Davey Allison. So
Davey
they were the
Allison.
same age.
Yeah, I know. That's
okay. My bad. I'm sorry.
They got it almost got real weird.
I didn't mess up any of
No,
the facts.
I know. That almost got real weird. Davey Allison's done what?
Donnie Allison.
Donnie Allison, yeah.
Too many D names.
God, dude, I should have known that one.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
on
That
me.
was a good one.
That's on me.
Did you read the last fact?
No, I didn't. I'm just
Coach Cole Trickle.
Did you really though?
Yeah. So
Did he really? Okay.
yeah. So that's how I found him. That's how I found him. Is
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I never want to be embarrassed like this
Right.
again on my show, and so I just started looking up stuff about Days of Thunder. Okay, and I was reading, and because I was like, they, like you said, I mean, they did a good job of like Hendrick got involved and everything.
Yeah.
And one of the articles I was reading was something about him being trained by NASCAR drivers, and so I looked up who trained. I can't think of his
Tom
name.
Cruise.
Tom Cruise
Yeah.
on Dry Race Car.
Cole Trickle.
And Strickland.
No kidding.
Came up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. I should have known that. That's
Yeah.
all. That's completely on me.
You definitely should.
It's
It's
5-4.
5-4, baby.
All right. At least Saturday, I don't have to worry about this.
You don't. We'll get Colby.
Get Colby good. I
5-4.
feel.
I've come out the gate now, and that was a gettable one.
That was very gettable. That's 100%
That's
on me.
in your wheelhouse.
100% on me.
You don't know the Alabama game. You just know Allison's.
I don't. Yeah, no. God. All over it, too. That's.
Yeah.
I'd rather not know it at all. I'd rather
At
not
all.
know it all than be. Married to Davey Allison's daughter is probably the funniest thing you've ever put.
It can be.
I almost feel like we could just say who we're going to do for Colby and he wouldn't listen.
Oh God. Are we willing to take that risk? Are we?
I think we are.
Okay, let's do it. That would be fun.
All right. it's
So
gotta
you
be
guys are gonna know to choose who's on next week with us. Are we gonna rob the fans? Maybe they play along with us.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe
we
they
won't
play
rob
along.
them. We won't rob
Okay,
them.
okay.
Let's go ahead and say this. We're gonna make it stupid easy.
Yeah.
With some hard facts.
With some hard facts. I love
Yes.
that. I love that.
So
okay.
Same as I did you with Dale Jr.
Yes.
Same as I think you were really close with Denny Hamlin on him.
Yeah, I was.
That same
It
concept?
stumped him for a little
Yeah.
bit. It did. He has some good questions, and I probably maybe should have, if I remember right, I maybe should have vetoed a question, but
Yeah.
I didn't.
So we'll get them. We'll work
get 'em.
together on that one. We'll
yeah,
get them.
yeah, we'll get them.
But I know we kept y'all a little while.
We
Long
did.
episode.
Good conversation though. I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah.
What we thought about Bristol, and leave us your feedback. What'd you think about Bristol? We love to hear from you guys. We know you're busy and out there burning the streets up and working all the time. But hey, any feedback's good feedback. So let us know what you thought about the race. If you completely disagree with what we said or you have a whole nother take, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah. Shout out to J Squad Racing, still telling us.
Yeah.
Still tweeting me every week, so I really appreciate that. Huge shout out to my dad
Yes.
for all weekend.
Yeah.
Putting the extra miles in, putting the extra effort in. Huge shout out to Kevin Kirkland,
Yep.
Noah Pendry, Ben Burrow. Couldn't do it without y'all. Looking forward to some more supporters.
Yeah.
So hit the
we're getting.
links.
We're not even halfway through the year. We're gonna tally this up, and I'm telling you, we're gonna do. If this live goes well, and even if 7 people tune in, but our equipment holds up and everything works well, I would love to do another one. And I want to finally do. We've talked about it, we've thrown it out, but we're gonna do a giveaway on something.
Yeah,
we'll do
we
a giveaway. Of course we as of now we still, if you want a hat, we're getting the hats. I've had a lot. They're up there. All you got to do, put it in the comments. Let me know you want one. And we're getting an order together. We're gonna get some. So
Yep, absolutely.
I'm excited. We it's been a great year. You guys have been great to us this year. I've had more fun this year on the show than I did last year.
Yeah,
It's-
finally figured it out.
Yeah.
All thanks to you. Huge shout out to Spencer for producing, getting all the sound right, and looking forward to the live show.
Yep. Let's do it. We'll see y'all.
See ya.
And